Good evening and welcome to the Portland City Council regular meeting of February 11, 2014. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance, the Lord's Prayer, and a moment of silence for men and women serving overseas. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Father, art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen.
Thank you. Clerk, please call the roll.
Mike Snyder,
Present.
Ron Ackerman,
Present.
Gabe Velo,
Present.
Jerry Tiroli,
Present.
Dakota Frias,
Present.
Margaret Phillips.
Present. Thank you. You have before you the minutes of the January 20th regular meeting. And I would entertain a motion to accept those minutes as written.
So moved, Madam President.
Thank you, Mr. Snyder. Could I have a second? Thank you, Ms. Phillips. All those in favor?
Aye.
The chair notes that certification has been received regarding compliance with the rules and notification of this meeting. I would just like to note that our normal cinematographer, Mr. Yankee, is not here tonight. He fell and broke his ankle in several places. So we'd certainly like to extend our thoughts to him and, more importantly, our thoughts and prayers to Sue. We will now go to the mayor's report.
Thank you, Madam President. The only thing I have tonight is just want everyone to be aware, council aware, the downtown revitalization group met last night as part of the final phases of looking over some of the plans. Our focus is Madison Street from the viaduct to Perry, but it also encompasses the rest of the areas, a conceptual drawing to move forward, and also to help us to capitalize on potentials of grants to reconstruct not only the sidewalk, the streets, the sewer, the water line. Basically, we're doing things right, top to bottom. That's all tonight, Madam President.
Thank you. Auditor's report.
Thank you, Madam President. I just wanted to remind everyone that I sent out the January 2014 month-end reports last Tuesday, which was February 4th, I believe. If there are any questions regarding the reports, please feel free to contact me. Thank you.
Treasurer's report.
Madam President, I have no financial report, but I do have something I'd like to report.
Okay.
Port Clinton High School junior Gabe DeFreitas played in the viola section of the Ohio All-State Orchestra in Columbus Friday evening at the Columbus Convention Center for parents and Ohio music educators. Only the best students are selected to perform in the all-state groups: orchestra, band, choir, and jazz ensemble. And Gabe is the only Port Clinton student in any of this year's performing groups. Gabe was selected when he auditioned for Northwest Ohio Region Orchestra and is one of 2 violists from this region to go to All-State. There are 5 regions in Ohio. Guest conductor was Steve Amundsen of St. Olaf College in Minnesota. I was pleased to be in the audience when the orchestra performed to a full hall. Gabe is the son of Gabe and Port Clinton Councilwoman Nicole DeFreitas. High school orchestra director is Brian Stiddick, and private instructor is Brian Schiffler. I thought we all should know that. And Gabe is here.
Thank you.
Thank you, Edna. Safety Service Director's report.
Thank you, Madam President. Well, of course, we had another busy week since the last time we met with snow. The guys are out again. As you saw today, we moved some on along Perry Street, trying to push it back so if we get more snow, we have a place to put it. So we're doing the best we can with that. We did get our salt back in, so that was great right before the last storm. So I think the guys, we've really been burning it. I mean, we burned up the overtime pretty well, as the auditor will say, but doing what we can. Just to give you an update, we had a pre-construction meeting on Monday for the Fulton Street job that's coming up. That's the water from 7th to 4th and the road construction from 4th to the alley between 5th and 6th. With the freeze in the ground and everything, they're figuring probably around March 1st of really getting going. Weather permitting, I see we got some warm days coming up in the next couple of weeks, so hopefully we can get that ball rolling and get that project going. The guys wanted to make sure that I thank Sharon Snyder, Dina Johnson, and Nancy Ballmer for the cookies and brownies they made them through all their overtime. So please tell your mother, your wife, and let them know the guys wanted to thank. That came from Eric Peters. And that's all I have tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. Fire Chief's report.
Nothing tonight, Madam President. Thank you.
Thank you. Under correspondence this evening, I have the auditor's report, which you received by email, and the planning and development minutes of 2/4/14. Could I have a motion to accept the correspondence as stated?
Motion.
Thank you, Mr. Turley. Could I have a second?
Second, Madam President.
Thank you, Mr. Velo. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. We will now go to the reading of ordinances and resolutions. Under the third reading, would the clerk please read by title and summary only? Ordinance 01-14.
Ordinance 01-14, an ordinance to approve 2013 replacement pages to the Port Clinton codified ordinances and declaring an emergency.
Does council wish to take any action this evening on ordinance 01-14? Mr. Snyder.
Thank you, Madam President. I'd like to make a motion that we retain the emergency clause on the ordinance.
I have a motion to retain the emergency clause on ordinance 01-14. Do I have a second? Thank you, Mrs. Phillips. Any discussion? Seeing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Gabe Velo,
Yes.
Mike Snyder,
Yes.
Margaret Phillips,
Yes.
Jerry Trolley,
Yes.
Ron Ackerman,
Yes.
Nicole DeFreitas,
Yes.
Thank you. Does council wish to take any further action on ordinance 01-14? Mr. Snyder.
Thank you, Madam President. I'd like to make a motion that we adopt ordinance 0114.
I have a motion to adopt ordinance 01-14. Do I have a second?
I'd like to second that motion, please, Madam President.
Thank you, Mr. Ackerman. Any discussion? Seeing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Ron Ackerman,
Yes.
Nicole DeFreitas, yes. Jerry Trolley,
Yes.
Mike Snyder,
Yes.
Margaret Phillips,
Yes.
Gabe Velo,
Yes.
Thank you. It always throws me when there's just 6 of you guys. Thank you. Ordinance 01-14 has passed. As I sit and I wait for that 7th. We have no second readings of ordinances and resolutions. We will now go to new readings of ordinance and resolutions. Would the clerk please read by title and summary only? Ordinance 03-14.
Ordinance 03-14, an ordinance amending section 911.03 of the codified ordinances of the city of Port Clinton and declaring emergency.
Does council wish to take any action this evening on ordinance 03-14? Seeing none, we will move that for its second reading to the February 25th meeting. Before we go to business from the floor, I would like to explain to you when Mrs. Sardi is going to be sworn in. The Board of Elections has received her certification. They will not vote on it till Thursday, which was why we couldn't swear her in this evening. So they will vote on it on Thursday, and as long as that's approved by the Board of Elections, she will be sworn in at the next council meeting. Just before, we'll probably do something at 7:15. And then we will have a full council once again. We will now go to business from the floor. Mr. Snyder.
Thank you, Madam President. I just would like to make an announcement that there will be a Finance Committee meeting next Tuesday evening at 6:30 in the meeting room adjacent here. Would like to thank, the representatives aren't here, but members of the FOP and FOPA for hosting Heroes Behind the Badge premiere movie that showed at the PAC this past Friday night. It was enjoyable and educational. Tomorrow, I'm going to be attending a disability awareness training program down the sidewalk here at the Sutton Center from 1 to 3 as a representative of the city. The 4th of July committee We met in January. We'll be meeting again at 7 p.m. on Thursday at Lock, Dock, and Barrel. We have a lot of new ideas. Funding is coming along. We'd certainly like to have a lot of new faces at that meeting. So 7 p.m. at Lock, Dock, and Barrel this Thursday. And finally, I learned earlier today that someone in this room who actually has more experience in the room than I is going to be leaving us. Miss Hadley from the News Herald has taken a job still in the community, but outside of the News Herald. And I personally would like to thank her for all of her support over the years for the city of Port Clinton. And earlier today, Chief Johnson, if you could help us out, we all passed around a little card with something, with little comments to show our appreciation. So we wish you the best of luck, and I'm sure we'll still see you around town.
Thank you.
Put that in the paper.
Mr. Ackerman.
Thank you, Madam President. I too would like to express my well wishes to Ms. Hadley. She's been extremely fair and impartial, as a reporter should be, and that's much appreciated through my tenure at council. Also knowing some council procedures to help us out during my first 3 months at council was very appreciative as well, so thank you very much. Thank you for the time tonight, Madam President.
Mr. Velo.
Just one announcement tonight. The 3 members of the Planning and Development Committee are calling a special meeting on Saturday, February 15th to travel to Worcester. The public is welcome to attend. The special meeting will begin at 8:10 a.m. here at City Hall. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Trolley.
Just a couple of things. First, I attended the showing of Heroes Behind the Badge, and what an incredible show. Just incredible. If you ever get a chance to see that, make sure you do. Another announcement, emergency services meeting is next Tuesday at 5:30. That's all, Madam President.
Mr. Freitas.
I also would like to wish Catherine the best of luck, and we'll miss her around here. She's been a huge resource for us new council people. So, and I also would like to congratulate Gabriel for his accomplishment and let him know that he owes me for getting him to Columbus on time. Yeah, I did. So, and that's all that I have. Yes.
Thank you, Madam President. 2 weeks from today at 6:30 will be the laws, rules, and ordinances next meeting. I do have something that I found when I was going through the book, all 1,000 pages of it, which I haven't finished, of course. Ignoring what's going on this year and the horrific snow, we do have an ordinance on the book from 1955 that says that everybody with a sidewalk is to clear it off within 12 hours of the ending of a snow. That isn't working this year, because we don't ever seem to have more than 12 inches between snows, which we, of course, are coming up 2 more this weekend. The second thing is, if traveling around, you will notice there are some private plow people who are plowing a lot of the snows in places which make it difficult to go around corners. This came from one of the people who stopped me. If you know of a contractor who is pushing the snow off of private property and into the street, or is covering up stop signs, which I have seen happen, covering up, I suppose, the fire plugs as well, would you please let somebody know at City Hall so they can contact those people and tell them to quit putting it where they're putting it? Because if you don't tell us who it is, we don't know who's doing it. Correct? And I've seen the city try to go out and move the snow around, but then it kind of defeats the purpose when a private plow person comes through and pushes it back right into where the city is just cleaned up. And that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Members of the audience. Mr. Pinky.
Don Fickey, 222 Adams. First question is, what is the official agenda on the trip to Worcester?
The official agenda is to do a fact-finding event, but there will be a printed agenda by Saturday.
Second of all, is there city financing involved into that?
We are going to use the 2 vans, the city-owned vans, to go, yes.
Okay, and thirdly, for those citizens that cannot make that trip, can they look forward to a somewhat detailed report on the results, possibly by the Planning and Development Committee?
I'm sure they'll be glad to give a report, but also because a special meeting has been called, a clerk will be appointed for that meeting. So minutes will be taken. So you'll also
We'll have the minutes and maybe a report on it.
Yeah.
Okay, fine, thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Smith.
Roger Smith, 218 West 4th Street. I've got a question that has to do with the snow and especially the businesses downtown that have not cleared their walkways. We have a lot of contractors in town and there's an awful lot of traffic back and forth. But what I'm wondering is the area where McCarthy's is and Island House, a lot of them have to walk out into the street because those 2 sections right now have about 2 foot of snow. And that's also a handicap ramp there. Is the city responsible or is the shop owner?
Supposed to be the people that own the property.
According to what
It's
the-
bad.
I know.
According to what the ordinance states, it is responsible, anything adjacent to the property is responsibility of that property owner, just like your house, that
Yeah.
sidewalk in front of your house, you're responsible for. So ultimately, it's his responsibility. Obviously, we've had an extreme amount of snow. As you can see, we're stacking it everywhere we possibly can. It doesn't really have a responsibility, obviously.
Yeah, but it's been that way since the start.
I agree.
And a lot of the contractors that are staying at the Island House want to get across the street to say McCarthy's and the other establishments. And it's I think maybe Mr. Colson takes a look at that and see what we can do.
Thank you.
It'd only take like a scoop it out.
Mr. Philbin.
Yeah, Gary Philbin, 121 Walnut Street. I've noticed here last night, my wife and I would go uptown, and we went to pull out of Walnut Street on the Perry. Whoever plows that, or where the smoke shop there is, they pile all that snow right up over the sidewalk and up high where you can't see any cars coming. And we started to pull out real slow, and I was literally, I had my hand on the shifter and I was watching like that. I was clear to the right, but on the left, I couldn't see no car, and all of a sudden I seen the guy coming flying. I had to put it in reverse and back up real quick so I could get back in. I was just glad there was nobody behind me. But I can't see why in businesses like that, instead of piling that snow there, they could have put it to the west side of that building in their parking lot. Push it up over that way instead of piling it right there in the corners where people drive out so you can't see what's going on. If I see who was doing it, I'm going to get his number or name or whatever it is.
Yeah, understand though, there are no ordinances in the city that dictate that. That's private property. So that is really up to them. I think it's a great suggestion, but I think I would approach
I
them.
think we ought to have an ordinance on it.
You can't make ordinances on private property. Not concerning that.
Yeah, but what happens if somebody would pull out there and would get hit? Then who would be liable? They said, well, I couldn't see it.
Whoever
That's
does that
snow
fall,
sitting
that's
there.
for a police officer and a judge to decide on that.
I think there ought to be an ordinance or somewhere where they can't pile that snow by the street like that, which blocks your vision, your view of anything coming toward you. That'd be just like if I go down there and we'll put a sign up out there behind the sidewalk, put a 6-foot high sign up where nobody can see anything coming from the west. And then somebody pulling out, they couldn't see it because of that sign there. It'd be my responsibility because I put the sign up.
Is it pushed out far?
Let's see.
I'll look and say,
Which-
which establishment?
Smoke shop, you said?
Mickey's?
It's right there at the corner of Cedar and
We'll be more than happy to take a look at it, but please understand, we've had an enormous amount of snow that's fallen.
Yeah, I know.
It's
I
hard
know
for
that.
us to figure out where we're putting all that snow.
Right.
You see us all the way to the high ground, you see them out on Perry Street trying to push that back. Patience and caution.
What gets
Strongly
me is
advised.
why when they plow that, instead of pushing it down there where they did, why couldn't they put it to the west side of that building, because there was a parking lot right there? It's in their property, it's their park, it's a big parking lot. Why couldn't they push the snow up over that way? Instead of pushing it down by the street. I've seen them plowing driveways on Perry Street, and they take the snow off the driveway and come straight across Perry Street and put it up on the lakeside of Perry Street. I saw that just here a while back.
There is a solution to that problem because I go there quite a bit. Pull out on Cedar Street and don't pull out on Perry Street. You got a better view at the corner of
You're making it
Cedar
way too
and Perry.
easy. You're making it too easy. You gotta stop it.
Anybody else this evening? Seeing none, I will ask for a motion to adjourn, Mr. Snyder.
Madam President, I move this August body adjourn.
Could I have a second, please?
Second that.
Thank you, Mr. Chiroli. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, we're adjourned.